He kōna ipurangi tēnei nā te reo irirangi o Aotearoa.
Hello, I'm Simon Morris. There's a mad, some might say overpowering amount of movie criticism out there on the interweb. Anyone with a working keyboard, in fact, seems encouraged to throw their 2 cents worth into the arena, and why not? You say confederacy of dunces, I say democratisation. You know, potato, potato. But it's easy to feel bullied at times. Most of these criticisms tend to flow one way, as if everyone in the world is of like mind. Come in, the dude from The Big Lebowski.
Yeah, well, you know, that's just like your opinion, man.
The reason for all this apparent unanimity is the fact that most of us don't want to come across as a spoil-sport killjoy or stupid or, this is more recent, on the wrong side of history. The fact is, it's not history until it happens. Until then, everyone's guessing. And in the end, the best opinion is that of the kid who didn't get the memo about the emperor's new clothes.
Look at the king, look at the king, look at the king, the king, the king. The king is in the altogether, but altogether, the altogether. He's altogether as naked as the day that he was born. The king is in the altogether, but altogether, the altogether. It's altogether the very least the king has ever worn.
And that was my position this week, confronted by a couple of films that the great and the good were rather more enthusiastic about than your humble servant. The posters outside a film festival hit called Splitsville left no room for dissent. The funniest film of the year, it bellowed.
We can clap. Thank you, let's clap.
Well, that's your opinion, man. Another area of divergence between me and it seems the entire movie-going population is the general awesomeness of popular novelist Stephen King. The fact that 406 movies so far have been made of Stephen's novels and short stories is proof that he's doing something right.
I think it would be fair to say I liked Andy from the start.
Think you'll ever get out of here?
I don't think so.
Open this door!
And yet I find just about all King-based films alarmingly thin. Even generally accepted classics like The Shawshank Redemption, Misery, Stand By Me and The Shining. In fact, the few things I liked in King films had not much to do with the original material.
On your marks! Get set!
Killian, I'll be back.
Only in a rerun.
Go!
Arnold Schwarzenegger and real-life game show host Richard Dawson in the original Running Man. Though in fact, Stephen King was plagiarising his own work there, a riff on early reality TV called The Long Walk.
Yeah, it took me a while to realize the truth of this. This is walk or die. You'll walk as long as you can.
Warning!
This week sees a film of The Long Walk directed by Francis Lawrence, fresh from another franchise that borrowed from the same idea, The Hunger Games. But first, the final, we promise, absolute grand finale movie cash-in of the TV phenomenon of the age, Downton Abbey.
It's hard to accept that it's time to go. Your friendship has never been more important to all of us. But the future of Downton Abbey is now in Mary's hands.
The success of Downton Abbey is something that defies sense, particularly dramatic sense. Creator Julian Fellowes went out of his way throughout the 52 episodes of the TV series and the subsequent 3 full-length movies to make sure that as little as possible of any consequence actually happened.
You will be a sensation.
Apparent plots would arrive, scandalous upheavals, dubious doings upstairs or downstairs, the possibility of Agatha Christie-type murders, only to find themselves sorted and shelved within a scene or two. The soft-hearted Fellowes seemed incapable of being cruel to any of his puppets and was only really interested in dishing out happy endings.
Lady Mary must go now. She's divorced. I'm very sorry. I shouldn't have come.
By the last episode of the TV series, you could hardly move for weddings, upwardly mobile staff and problems solved. Not that this stopped the producers from ferreting out more to pad out a couple of spin-off movies. So by the end, by which I mean this final Downton Abbey subtitled The Grand Finale, virtually everyone unhitched will get hitched, and anyone without a decent job will find one, possibly in the theatre.
When you took charge, there were emperors in Moscow, Vienna, and Berlin. And your parents were king and queen of this part of the county. But that world is gone now. It's a different place.
So everyone keeps saying.
And it's not different because we can get to Cape Town in a few days instead of half a year.
The grand finale sees Julian Fellowes' 2 successful secret weapons on display. First, his research. I suspect he has a short book called The Aristocracy in the Early 20th Century. Having turned to the year 1930, Jules read that the king of the West End theatre was playwright, actor, director, songwriter and general wit, Noel Coward.
Bittersweet seems to be a big hit.
We're living in the age of Noel Coward.
Exactly. Although I don't suppose Noel would put it quite like that.
How would I put it?
We were just saying how your star shines more brightly with every new show.
So expect plenty of Noel, played by a chap who gets the voice, but not much else. Every twist of the story, I use the word story mostly for rhythm, is punctuated, underlined and generally pummeled by Coward songs like The Stately Homes of England and Poor Little Rich Girl.
I was talking earlier to your uncle about your divorce. What happened?
Well, I doubt I'll be asked that again tonight. Or is it research for a play?
Maybe.
Julian's other key ingredient in every episode of Downton is his famous tin ear for dialogue. The Downton crowd don't want subtlety. I doubt if Noel Coward would have lasted in the writer's room. They want to be told what they already suspect and then told it again.
This really is the night that shook the world.
That is what's happened. Now we must just get on with it.
What about her running Downton? Don't you want her in command?
Clunkety-clunk as always, but in fact the main strengths of Downton Abbey have very little to do with the writing. People want to look around the stately homes in question, and here they get all they could ask for. As always, the grand finale looks splendid.
The world is changing. The way we talk, the way we dress, the way we deal with each other.
Surely you're entitled to have some fun.
Classic Mary.
And there's also the dream cast who give the paltry script more than it could possibly ask for. From Hugh Bonneville and Michelle Dockery as the present and future Lord and Lady of the Manor, to Carson the butler and Daisy, the one-time kitchen maid, now the Abbey's cook.
You look back and think about all the changes you've witnessed.
You're the daughter I never had. I'll treasure those words.
Maggie Smith has gone, sadly. Her delivery of Lady Violet's sarcastic one-liners gave the illusion of wit that Fellowes could only dream of. And I'm sorry to note the absence of a personal favourite, Tuppence Middleton, who played Maid with a Secret, Miss Smith, in the last film.
Families like ours must keep moving to survive. And all of your support is more important to me than I can say.
If Mama were alive, what would she do?
But, as I say, there's not much room for secrets or indeed anything else much in the living rooms of Downton Abbey. Will Robert hand over the reins to daughter Mary? Will Mary get past, shock horror, her recent divorce? Will American brother-in-law Harold get over mishandling the family silver?
Welcome back, my brother. Cora. The news is bad, isn't it?
How could you tell?
I've known you since you were born.
Harold's made a real mess of things, hasn't he?
Don't you see what this means for Downton?
The answer, as anyone who's ever seen an episode can attest, is don't worry about it. In fact, the problems are often solved before you realise there is one. It's all perfectly Downton, in other words. One doesn't follow the plot of a Downton Abbey film, one simply wallows in it, ticking off the bits you recognise and promising yourself to look up the bits you don't.
Long live Downton Abbey.
Amen to that.
Sex comedy art film Splitsville arrived this week, trailing clouds of glory, or at least puffs of enthusiasm from audiences who like this sort of thing. It's clearly a specific crowd. Where I went, everyone in the audience looked as if they'd stepped out of the film.
Carrie!
You okay?
No. You have any water?
Late 30s, early 40s, a bit blasé, the sort of demographic I associate with an interest in spicing up their sex life in some way. In the 60s, it led to adult comedies like Carnal Knowledge and Bob and Carol and Ted and Alice. In the 30s, Noel Coward stirred things up with Design for Living.
No sex.
Mm-mm.
It's a gentleman's agreement.
May be a bit difficult in the beginning,
but it can be worked out.
Oh, it'll be grand.
But Splitsville is uniquely millennial, earnest, serious, deeply anxious to appear evolved. It opens on gym teacher Carrie being given bad news in the car by his better half Ashley. Except in this context, better is a relative term.
Maybe when I get divorced.
Please don't say that.
I'm unfaithful. I've been unfaithful.
Just one time? 2? Please don't make me count 3.
In shock, Carrie turns to his best friends Paul and wife Julie. They're supportive, but wonder if divorce is quite the end of everything it used to be. Turns out the secret, though Bob, Carol, Ted, Alice and Noel Coward could have told them this, is an open marriage. Unfaithfulness is just a man-made structure.
I don't want to get a divorce.
No one does.
She does.
Divorce isn't that big a deal. I read a book.
It was an article.
Whatever. We're open.
Carrie is shocked and amazed. On the strength of his friend's salesmanship, while Paul is off in town on so-called business, Carrie and Julie take it to the next level. And obeying the rules, Carrie can't wait to tell Paul.
We are not monogamous.
By the way, Julie and I had sex last night. Together.
Now, if Paul was as mature as he claimed to be, there wouldn't be much of a story. But of course, he's not. And hypocrisy or no hypocrisy, he throws a violent wobbly with Carrie at the expense of furniture, crockery, and a big expensive goldfish aquarium. Meanwhile, what of Ashley? Having parted from Carrie, she's had a string of affairs, though she seems incapable of sending any of them home as the numbers mount up. So now Carrie decides he can move in too, downstairs.
I slept with someone too.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and it was good, so it's all good.
Oh, it was good?
We don't even have to talk about it.
You guys are so inspiring. I hope I'm this mature when I'm your age.
We're not that old. Go to bed.
You may think it's getting a bit French now, but it really isn't. Classic French farces are notable for pace and a certain joie de vivre. Splitsville tends to pause regularly for our quartet to endlessly go over where they're going and whether they've made a mistake. Very millennial, apparently.
Okay, is it something specific? Because I've been working out. I don't want to have sex with you either, Ashley. Okay, I just want my wife back. God, why does everything have to be so complicated? I'm not that bad looking.
I'm telling you, this kind of shit happens all the time here.
Leads and co-writers Kyle Marvin as Carrie and Michelangelo Covino as Paul are actually movie producers by trade. They made a Jane Fonda comedy called 80 for Brady. The actors playing Julie and Ashley have a slightly more promising track record. Adria Arjona was good in Hitman, while Dakota Johnson had a rocky start in 50 Shades of Grey before going on to better things.
He can do what he wants, and I don't want to know about it. Unless I do want to know about it, in which case I would ask, and he would tell me everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not like we're dating other people.
Dakota's easily the best thing in this, though, to be fair, my millennial audience members disagreed. For them, watching the two male cast members, often naked, wrestle, break things, complain and shatter aquaria was all comedy gold.
Oh, God. This is normal, right? People go through stuff like this in the first year of marriage.
No.
And at the end, after all the work making Splitsville contemporary, edgy and modern as tomorrow, it still ended up paying lip service to the old-fashioned comedy values of the past. I'm not saying the whole thing ended up being a bit of a merry mix-up, but if you're really looking for rule-breaking sex comedy, you might be better off dipping into Noel Coward.
What are you guys doing?
The Long Walk is the novel Stephen King wrote when he'd just started wondering about what people would do to go on television and how cynically TV channels would exploit that. The basic idea is simple. A bunch of kids have to keep going until there's just one left.
Walk until there's only one of you left. Who's ready to win?
It was the inspiration for countless similar projects, King's own Running Man, Battle Royale, The Hunger Games, and of course every reality TV competition ever invented. But the idea probably came from something all too real during the Great Depression. The bop till you drop, literally, dance contests dramatised in They Shoot Horses, don't they?
And believe me, these wonderful kids deserve your cheers because each one of them is fighting down pain, exhaustion, weariness, struggling to keep going, battling to win. And isn't that the American way?
OK, The Long Walk isn't that. It's Stephen King writing his own rule book. This was his first completed novel, apparently. We meet the 50 or so young men. It's the near future. America is a fascist state. Everyone's broke. And the one hope is to win the long walk. So let's meet some contestants.
I'm Ray Garrity. You can call me Ray.
Prima Breeze.
Hank Olson's the name. Walking's my game.
As usual in Stephen King's Americana, there are 3 or 4 buddies we concentrate on. At the start there are just 3, the decent Ray, who we meet first, the ever-cheerful Pete, who Ray meets first, and Hank, the personality kid. 3 musketeers, get it?
They say you shouldn't make friends on a long walk, but I sort of like you 3. Let's be musketeers. All for one!
One for all.
No, and again, I need to hear it louder. All for one!
And one for all!
But there are others who drift in and out of the group, depending on whether we need them. And in the black hat, there's the sinister Major to explain the rules of the long walk.
I'm not going to go through the whole rule book, but it boils down to this. If you fall below the speed of 3 miles per hour, you get your ticket.
Keep walking, in other words, or get shot. Incidentally, that's Mark Hamill playing the Major, who seems to be the one-man production house of The Walk. As usual in a Stephen King movie, the budget is stripped to the bone. Originally, there were meant to be 100 contestants, and the much-vaunted TV coverage is reduced to just 1 line and a camera that seems to be made out of cardboard.
Smile, boys. You're on candid camera. Man, you gotta not think about the things out of your control. Think about your plan.
Personally, I can't stop thinking about all that money.
So here we go, a troop of boys walking mile after mile along one road, being picked off as they slow down. And while it offers some stripped-down Aristotelian dramatic unities, just keep walking, who's next to be shot, it is a bit short on visual pizzazz. Even the famously low-rent production values of Arnie's Running Man would have been welcome after a while.
This for me?
I'm so sorry, Mom!
It matters, man.
You're right. Every moment matters, especially at the end.
Stars of the show are Cooper Hoffman as Ray, a young man who feels guilty for putting his mum through this torture, apparently, and David Johnson as gritty, upbeat Pete, keeping everyone's spirits up. Ray and Pete are the only two characters who warrant more than one adjective to describe them.
Warning. Okay, just keep walking. That's right. Just keep walking. Yeah, that's it, kid. That's it.
Second warning. Third warning.
There's underage Curly, ratbag Barkovich, Native American Collie, Churchy Baker and secretive Stebbings. His job is to surprise us when we're down to single numbers. Here's a tip. Don't expect too much of a surprise when it finally arrives.
What, walk me a while?
Yeah. Yeah, I do, Pete.
You boys are the answer. The long walk is the answer.
Actually, there was one surprise for me. How come this film is being hailed as something more than just a long walk ruined? There's so little here. Even the spectator extras only appear in 3s and 4s. I can only suppose they blew the budget on the other walkers. Oh no, the guy in specs is down, and I don't fancy the chances of the one in bad shoes.
I suppose you're wondering why I'm writing down everybody's names and numbers.
No, I wasn't wondering.
Maybe because you were the squads.
Me? No. I'm writing a book, you see? A book about the long walk.
I see that.
Yeah. A book about the long walk from the insider's point of view? Make me rich.
But even the so-called lead characters have the bare minimum of background, and by the end my interest in who, if anyone, wins has been reduced to a simple coin toss. As for the evil major, well, exposition duty and shooting the slow coaches. That's it.
There's one winner. And no finish line.
At the deeply underwhelming conclusion, even the extras have mostly gone home. The futility of reality TV or something? I guess so, though if you're looking for futility, I suggest you look a little closer to home. At least in a reality TV show, there's a chance you might get married. And on that reassuring note, it's time to go. I'm Simon Morris, and I hope you'll join me at the movies, same time next week.